All right, welcome back to SouFLoTV again, everybody. It is your host with the most. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, please, and let's get into the topic. The topic today is, what is gaslighting? We will give examples of gaslighting. We will also tell you how gaslighting works and how to heal from being around individuals who gaslight all the time, whether it be a friend or a more closer friend, like in a relationship wise. Starting from the top, let's say this. Every now and then a word comes out, and then the word starts to trend, and then it becomes the hot thing to say, whether it's just in normal exchange among individuals or even in a personal relationship with a lover, like a husband or boyfriend or girlfriend. Oh, you're gaslighting me. You're always gaslighting me. And I hate when he does that, or I hate when she does that. And a lot of the times, what I realize is the person using the term does not know what it means. Narcissist or narcissistic was one of those words. Today, we're dealing with gaslighting. Okay, we start off from here. And all our sources will be at the end of this video, so you know where the information comes from. We're not just pulling this out of thin air. This is expert info. What is gaslighting and what are gaslighting signs? Now, you may have heard the word, right, or the term used, and you yourself may have used the term, but do you really understand what it means? Or are you telling yourself what you think it means? Well, a lot of people want to know what the real definition of gaslighting is, and that is why Merriam-Webster, those of you who are old enough to remember a dictionary, you will know exactly who Merriam-Webster is. Merriam-Webster announced gaslighting as the 2022 word of the year. That is how much gaslighting was used. Check this out. According to numbers, searches for the word gaslighting increased by 1,740% that year alone. This is what the dictionary publisher said. Increased by 1,740%, which brings me back to what I said in the beginning, that sometimes a word starts to trend out of nowhere and then everybody starts to use it. But most of the people who are using it either are that person that word defines, or they have absolutely no clue what it means and they're using it in the wrong context because everybody else around them who they learned it from were also using it in the wrong context. Watch this. The term is also frequently misused, and some may be gaslighters themselves, or you may be getting gaslit and don't even know that you are getting gaslit. So let's get into what exactly gaslighting is. According to the Newport Institute, gaslighting is a form of manipulation and abuse where the manipulator attempts to make their victim believe that what's happening to them isn't actually happening and their reality is actually not true. Let me say it again. It's a form of manipulation and abuse in an attempt to make victims believe that what's happening to them isn't actually happening to them and that their reality is not true. According to the Newport Institute, lying about or denying that something happened and refusing to admit the lie, even when you are shown proof that you are lying, that is gaslighting. You're lying about or you're denying that something happened, and the person you're lying to is showing you proof that that is not what happened, and you're still refusing to admit that you're lying. That's gaslighting. You will see later on how this first example actually ties into the origin of the word gaslighting and how the word came about. Now, here's another example of gaslighting: insisting that an event or a behavior that you witnessed personally never happened and that you're just remembering things wrong. In a relationship, this is typical of a gaslighter. A gaslighter will shy away from addressing issues immediately so that they can give some time and space in between the event happening that caused everybody to be upset and the moment where you sit to work it out. In that space of time, they are able to twist things however fit they see it, while you might still remember it exactly how it happened. They'll confront you later on with a new version of what just took place. So insisting that an event or a behavior you witnessed never happened and that you're remembering it all wrong. That is gaslighting. Here's another example: spreading rumors and gossip about you or telling you that other people are gossiping about you. I call that throwing a battery in your back. That is also a form of gaslighting. Spreading rumors and gossips about a person and then telling that same person that other people are gossiping about you, that's gaslighting. You are a part of the rumors going around and the gossip going around about them. And then here you are telling them that people are gossiping about you. Gaslighting. Here's another one: changing the subject or refusing to listen when confronted about a lie or about a gaslighting behavior. Changing the subject or refusing to listen. That could come across in a relationship setting as refusing to listen, as in, I'm not ready to talk about that right now. And they'll never be ready to talk about it. Yeah, changing the subject. Change the subject because I don't want to talk about this right now. Or refusing to listen when confronted about a lie or other gaslighting behavior. Why would they change the subject and why would they refuse to listen? Because they're being confronted. It's like holding a mirror in front of somebody's face and they're forced to look at themselves. And they know that they're looking horrendous right now, so they don't want to look. Give me some time to get the makeup on. Give me some time to fix myself the right way. Then you can come hold this mirror up when I'm ready. Gaslighting. Here's the last one: telling you that you're overreacting when you actually call them out on what it is you see them doing that you think is wrong or that is offensive to you. I don't know if you've ever been around anybody who, when you're around them, everything is good as long as you're doing and saying the things that they like. But the minute you point to something that is offensive to you, you're an enemy. Telling you that you're overreacting when you call them out. In other words, they're very sensitive, so don't ever call me out. The minute you call me out on anything, we become enemies. Now let's think about or talk about where the term gaslighting comes from, because these words didn't just fall out of thin air. So here's the origin of the word gaslighting. The Newport Institute says that the origin of gaslighting is the 1938 play titled Angel Street by Alfred Hitchcock. Or Alfred Hitchcock eventually turned it into a play, rather. Alfred Hitchcock was not around then, 1938, to do Angel Street. Alfred Hitchcock eventually turned it into a play in 1944. The film is called Gaslight. Quote unquote, Gaslight. The story follows a man who is trying to convince his wife that she's going crazy so that he can steal from her. When he turns on the lights in the attic of the house to look for his wife's jewels, the gas light downstairs usually starts to go dim. Now, this woman knows that if my attic light is on, my gas light downstairs will go dim. He then tells his wife that it's all in your imagination. She's like, are you upstairs in the attic turning on the attic light? What are you up there searching for? And he'll go, I never went in the attic. I was never in the attic. And now she's wondering, am I seeing things? I'm pretty sure I saw the downstairs gas light going dim, which only happens when my attic lights are on. So he would tell his wife that it's all in her imagination, gaslighting her into believe that the lights were not dimming and she was only thinking that they were dimming. So what you're seeing is not real, is what he's saying, making her believe that what she just saw is not real. This is where the word gaslighting comes from. Now, here are some signs of gaslighting. According to verywellmind.com, peer study review groups, and mental health specialists, signs of gaslighting include: you start to doubt your feelings of reality. Is that true? Did I just see that? Maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe I'm seeing things. The other one is you start to question your judgment and your perception. Maybe I'm seeing things the wrong way. Maybe my judgment is off. Maybe I need to chill. Another one is you start to feel vulnerable and insecure. Another one is you start to feel alone and powerless. And another one is you wonder if you are what they say you are. Another one, you're disappointed in yourself and who you have become. Yes, being with someone who is a constant gaslighter can actually take a mental toll on an individual. There are quite a few more. You feel confused. You worry that you are too sensitive. You have a sense of impending doom, like things are going to end. You spend a lot of time apologizing. You're not wrong, but you spend a lot of time apologizing because the gaslighter is never wrong. You feel inadequate. No matter what you do, it's not enough. You second guess yourself. You assume that others are disappointed in you as well. You wonder, what's wrong with me? And then you struggle to make decisions because you start to not trust your own self. This is mental anguish and damage. But Healthline offers ways for you to respond properly to gaslighting behavior. And here are some things. And that list is pretty short. 1, you want to make sure that it's actually gaslighting. Therefore, before you go dealing with it, it's like treating an illness. The doctor shouldn't just say, oh, your head hurt, your stomach hurts. Oh, you have cancer. Let's start chemo. No, you want to make sure that it's cancer first before you start putting cancer treatment on whatever you think that illness is. So make sure that by definition, what you're dealing with is actually gaslighting first. And then take some space from the situation. Now, that's hard to do if you're in a relationship of monogamy where you share the same space, you live together. How do you take some space from the situation? Sleep in another room, sleep in the living room while they go to the bedroom, stop sharing beds. Take some space. Physically take some space. Take some space from the type of conversations. Collect evidence is another way. Collect evidence. And I know a lot of people collect evidence, but because you're collecting evidence does not mean you are not the gaslighter. Collect evidence for the individual who is constantly being gaslit. When things are going down, collect evidence. That way, later on, when you confront the individual and you say, hey, I didn't like the way this went down earlier or what you said, and this is how you said it. And the person says, I don't know what you're talking about because that's not what I said, or that's not how I was acting, or that's not how it went. You can actually pull your evidence up and say, have a look. This is how you were acting. Now what? But remember, if they're constantly gaslighting, they might also deny that, because one of the definitions of gaslighting is that even when confronted with proof, they will still deny. Don't go silent. That's another way to deal with it. Do not go silent. Speak up about the behavior. One of the worst things you can do is that you're being trampled and you hold everything inside. Do not hold it inside to make somebody else feel good, because they'll go away feeling like a winner while you will go away feeling burdened. And that will start to build resentment. So speak up about the behavior. Speak up constantly. This might bring the end to a certain relationship or a certain type of relationship. But if you get rid of someone who's constantly gaslighting you in that manner, then hey, that's good for your health. Sometimes we hang on to people and things that are actually really unhealthy for us. So speak up about the behavior. Here's another one. Remain confident in your version of events. You're not dumb. You're not slow. You're not challenged intellectually. What you saw and how you felt, those are valid. Those are real. Don't allow someone to tell you you did not see what you saw. Don't allow someone to tell you you had no reason to feel the way you felt. So remain confident in your version of the events. Remember, one of the definitions of being a gaslighter is someone who changes the version of events, how they actually happened, to make you believe that you're just imagining things and that's not how it actually went. You're overreacting. You're always making stuff up. You always find something to be critical about. So remain confident in your version of the events. Another one is, and there are three more. Here's one. Focus on self-care. That goes without saying. Focus on self-care. Protect your space, especially your inner space, your mental space. Involve others. One of the common behaviors with gaslighters, they like to isolate people so that you have no one to give you a feedback, right? So if you say, okay, you know what? I think a third party needs to hear this. So maybe someone else can tell you that you're in the wrong. A constant gaslighter will be like, we don't need no third party. I said what I said, right? And if a third party does get involved and hear, you'll probably be blamed for putting their business out in the streets, when in reality is they're offended because now again, that mirror is held to their face again, and this time by someone different. And lo and behold, you were right. Makes it even worse. So they'll try to get you to not involve people, but you must remember to involve others just to keep your sanity. And then the last one is, if you need it, that means if you plan on sticking around throughout that, seek some professional support. Wow. We'll end this video by saying this. These are tactics that are meant to be destructive, manipulative, and they can be damaging to an individual, whatever type of relationship you're in. If there's a whole lot of gaslighting going on, I would suggest you address it the best you can, but don't stick around for too long. If they're stuck on being a gaslighter, get up out of there. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about this one. Are you in a relationship or with someone who is a constant gaslighter? Or are you the constant gaslighter? Which will take you having to actually listen to this, measure yourself properly according to these definitions, and then look yourself in the mirror honestly and say, oh, damn, I am. Or he is. Or she is. I'm out. Peace.